hopefully this is good enough to do this and doesn't look too gross or anything. But hello, hi, welcome. It's currently like 7:30 in the morning, so we're watching the sunrise together as I'm realizing that I'm probably either one or two things. Super sleep deprived because I've been working overnight shifts the last week, or I am now entering my life crisis. Not midlife, my life crisis. I'm about to be 30 in 2 months. Yeah, literally in 2 months, I'm gonna be 30. And I don't think I've ever made a reflection video on my 20s. And I felt like right now would be a really good time to reflect on it because to me, like alcohol, people are always like, oh, alcohol reveals the truth. Sleep deprivement reveals all kinds of truths. So, yeah, there's that. Let's see. I guess let's do a checkpoint, right? I think I've done one of these checkpoints in one of the worst years of my life, and that was 2019, 2018, and now we're in 2025. So yeah, what a time. Let's see, 2019, if you haven't seen that video, I'll just cut it short and sweet. I was married, I was getting a divorce, I was losing my grandmother, I was losing my house, I wasn't hitting my goal of having children in a time that I wanted children at, and it was stressing me out. While going into school for computer science, because I was an artist, why not do the two things that I love, which is art and messing with the computer? So I went to school for that. I think I was actually just starting in that, and this was months before the pandemic was happening. And I thought that was my crash out. If I could turn back time and be in that era again, there's so many things I would fix. But I think I say that now because I know my actions and the consequences that happened with my actions, which is a good reflection for people who are 20. If you're 20 and you're watching this, hi, hello, or in your 20s, these are the years that you're supposed to really see what you can do. This is your first 10 years of adulthood. You have all the responsibilities for yourself, and all of the actions that you do actually fall back on yourself, and you don't get a slap on the wrist or go to detention or get a spanking or get grounded for a week without electronics. None of that. Your actions actually have consequences that can affect you for the next 10 years or more, depending on what actions you're doing. My actions in my early 20s is I was applying for a bunch of loans, and I was getting $1,000 to $700, I think, for 3 months, a week for 3 months of just loans. And when my mom turned to me and said, how are you getting all this money? I'm like, oh, I just fill this paperwork out online and I get it within the next day or two. And she goes, you have to pay those back, right? No, I did not know that. And that added up. That added up so much and ruined my entire credit. So am I almost debt-free of that? Yes, I am. I think I have 3 more months and I'll be debt-free of that. But back to the purpose of this video. Crashing out before I'm 30 and whatever, and my reflections on my 20s. My 20s are my life lessons, is what I'm learning. And I am acceptance of that. In my 30s, I think my 30s are in the beginning. So like the end of my 20s, like right now, I'm fixing everything that 20 to 26-year-old me did. 27, 28, I can still wait a little bit. 29, I don't think I've done anything but reflect because I've done all that I could. But I think in my 30s, at least the first 5 years of my 30s, I feel like it's more of I need to fix what my 20s did so that my 30s and onward can figure out what we're doing. Which is kind of crazy to say because I'm thinking about going back to school and finishing college. At least finishing what I've started, because I've always had the problem of not finishing what I've started. That was approved with hair school. But now I'm having more ideas on the whole computer science thing. And I think now, instead of just kind of blowing it off and like enjoying doing nothing for 3 years and was flunking out of college, which was the worst thing I could probably ever do. Knowing that now, I think my 30s is like, okay, you didn't fully buff up, you didn't fully mess up, you can go off and you can finish out college and get a full-on degree. Not an associate's, but a full-on, like, bam, bachelor's, master's, and so forth. And I think I'm doing that. I think I'm about to do that. Oh my God. I'm mentally not ready, okay? I'm preparing myself. But yes, I'm thinking about going back to school, finishing out my degree. I'm planning on saving money to try to either buy a house, either one or two things, okay? It is to buy a house or it is to move to Dallas. Yeah. Let me know what you think. If you're watching all the way to the end of this, I need to know, is moving, pulling myself, my children, uprooting out of Houston and going to Dallas or Austin or San Antonio? I still want to stay in Texas. I don't want to change too much, but just enough. But Dallas has snow occasionally, way more than Houston. So that's why I'm like, let's do Dallas. Plus, I know a few people in Dallas, and I have an aunt or cousin, second cousin, something like, I don't know. I have a cousin in Dallas. Would I give her like my full-on help load? No, she's got her own life, her own thing going on. So just for company, she's there. And I've got a few friends. I think I've got like more friends in Dallas than what my hands can count. And not like a village or a support team, because I have my children too, which I also have to think about. Like, you can't be greedy doing that. At least that's what my brain thinks. I think in my 20s, if I had the offer, I would have took it. But yeah, my 30s, I've really got to think about what my actions are and how to do them and what to do them and what are the plans to do them. So yeah, I'm excited for what my 30s holds. I don't know exactly what all of that entails, but as of right now, it is going to school and it is moving. I want to be in an actual career. My 20s, I've done nothing but retail or hospitality. I started a career in marketing. That was fun. I could still pick up on that, and hairdressing. I can get my clientele. If I actually hunker down, I could probably get my clientele and that be full-on career. But what would I do at night? Stream? What would I stream? Animation, building games, building a webcomic, building an animation series. I would love, oh my God, I have this idea for a webcomic that I would love to transition into animation. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I would want to do. So, 30-year-old self is about to happen. So the question is for my 40-year-old self is to, I don't know, what advice would I give my 40-year-old self? Right now I'm more concerned about my 30s and life and stuff. I guess 40s is just to have fun. Oh my God, in my 40s I'd have adult children. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. We're not going to worry too hard about that, okay? 30s is life, it's prosper, it's fixing the rest of the stuff that I have to fix that I did in my 20s, and it is just to kind of get my life together. My whole demeanor in my early 20s to now have shifted also, really thinking about it. Like what I want, my dreams, my goals, my aspirations, my motivations, even my like, what are they called? My life mottos. In my early 20s it was live life to the fullest, and I'm not full yet. It's not that anymore. Nowadays it's learn patience. That's a motto I need to learn for sure, is patience. I think I'm going to end the video here, but my question to you, if you've made it this far to the video, because I don't think I'm cutting it. I might cut it. I don't know. But my question to you is, what would you give, what are you learning in your 20s, if you're 20? If you're not 20, what advice would you give to your 20s? And if you're 30, same thing. What lessons are you prepared to learn in your 30s? And what lesson would you give yourself in your 30s? Or lesson? I don't know, I'm tired. But whatever the first two was, transition that from 20 to 30. Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow.